News. I'm Akash Mistry, your host for the broadcast at CIO News. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website cionews.co.in and CIO News LinkedIn handle. This is an exclusive fireside chat powered by Avaya on transformation through customer experience. Businesses are built by experiences they provide, and every day, millions of those experiences are delivered by Avaya. Avaya is shaping what's next for the future of work with innovation and partnership that deliver a game changing business benefit. So let's dive in and let me introduce my guest for today, Mr. Tarun Vijh. He is the president and CIO at Wagh Bakri Tea Group. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Great to have you. And to tell you more about Mr. Tarun, he has more than 24 years of experience to lead and manage IT operations, AOP planning, project management, digitalization innovative in different industries, which include FMCG, engineering, manufacturing, and IT consultancy. We also have Mr. Adarsh Kaul, India Marketing Lead at Avaya, and also our moderator for today's session. He's an experienced business marketing specialist with a strong mix of strategic, analytic, and creative experience, and has the proven history of working with IT and telecom industry. With over 20 plus years of experience of relevant and skilled expertise in leadership, communication, marketing management, customer acquisition, and partner management. Over to you, Mr. Adarsh.
Thank you very much, Akash. I definitely need to change my bio. The way you make it sounds very nice and pompous. But thank you again. But having said that, let's focus across on the guest that we have for today. Tarunji, thank you very much for coming in on board across in this. And I think, as I said, I'm a huge fan of Wagh Bakri. I live in Delhi, and the closest that I have to Delhi, where I stay, is the Haus Khas Wagh Bakri Lounge. And I'm, as I said, I am a customer of yours, and I would love to understand this thing that, what are your insights on actually capturing and handling the customer experience from a perspective, which is what I'm going to be primarily quizzing you across on today. But, uh, you know, you've had a diverse background from a perspective of where you come in from. It'll be nice if you kind of give us a perspective of Wagh Bakri as an organization, because at the end of the day, what we see is just the external part of it. We have lovely sips of your tea, and I love your cookies, by the way. But having said that, would love to understand this thing, that what exactly is Wagh Bakri, and how does the CIO of Wagh Bakri handle the operation and the enormity of it when it actually comes to hitting the road on a daily basis. Over to you. Let's
Yeah.
get you answering on that.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you, others, for providing me this opportunity where I could present Bal Bakri, right? So the thing is that just to give you a kind of introduction of the Bal Bakri, right? So this is 100 plus years old brand, and right, so we are basically very unique when it comes to any tea, actually, right? Companies, right? So when you compare us from Tata, Unilever, so we are not into mass selling, to be honest, right now. So the motto of the organization is to maintain the quality, right? So that is where basically we are ready to compromise, to be honest, on the numbers, on the sales numbers, right? But we don't want to compromise on the quality of tea we deliver to our end user or end customers. As I said, that means our brand is having a lot of stickiness. So wherein that once our customer is always our customer, and we believe in maintaining relationship, and that is where basically we try to bring people together, and we ensure that whomsoever comes to us, right, always. So that is where basically that we are not growing at a pace where the pace at which Tata and Unilever are growing right now. But the thing is that organization wants to give experience of their tea to different basically to all these all segment of people, actually, and we have introduced multiple brands for that also. So we are having our footprints almost more than 40 countries right now. So we are not just selling in India, we are selling outside India also. And we are doing some promotional and some I should say activities in India and outside India also, by the means of advertisement and all. But when you say that when it comes to customer experiences currently, to be very honest, right, so whatever tasting sampling we do, right, so it is very closer to the heart of directors, right? So they ensure that every cup of tea, right, every blend which is going into the market should contain the same parameters, the parameters we call at CTSB: color, taste, smell, and bitterness, which is on the parameters on which we identify. And we have multiple brands like Navchetan, we have got Millie, we have got Bakri, we have got Good Morning. So when we it comes to different brands, right, so keeping in mind the different segment of the people we have, right, we have created multiple brands, but one thing we have ensured, like Navchetan is one of the basically brand which is for the common people. There also we try to maintain the kind of basically standards which we have maintained for Bakri to some extent, right? So because there are a lot of brands Tata and Unilever is having, where they are basically fighting and they are investing huge, to be honest. They are working very low on margins, basically in certain products they have, but still, just because of our quality, we are able to uh, basically maintain our growth, right, at a I should say very normal pace. To be honest, I won't say that it is very very high and aggressive in numbers, but
Hmm.
yes, going forward, means I joined this organization almost 1.5 year back. The objective of organization was basically to appointing me to bring a kind of digitization within the organization, and I am here driving the digitization agenda. So to be honest, when it comes to customer experiences, it is mostly basically based on relationship. And we have got two set of businesses, as you rightly mentioned. One is basically with the tea blending business we have. Second is retail business we have, where we have certain lounges. So, and earlier, actually, if you talk about an year back, right, so we were having almost, I believe, 10 lounges across India only, right? But the thing is that we wanted to grow at a very fast pace. We wanted to have 100 plus lounges, but due to COVID, everything got impacted. But now, because the COVID situation is I believe it is diluting now. So and now basically people are coming out basically in numbers, and that is where we have started to expand our retail business. So from 10, now we have approximately 28 basically lounges, as well as tea kiosks we have set up at certain locations. So we are growing there also, but yes, definitely we have a lot of basically expectations, and we want with the use of technology, we should be able to reach more and more customers, and we should be able to give experience of our product to the customers. Uh, by whatever way. So we are engaging means a lot of big four and basically some big IT companies. So currently Accenture is working with us in this journey. So they
Hmm.
are doing a kind of business process reengineering exercise for us, wherein we can bring a lot of productivity in our processes. And this is a journey we have, to be honest, the digitization journey has just started in a big way for Bakri.
Interesting, Tarun. So, what you've just said is this thing that you've actually your go to market is being streamlined across right now, but your captivity from a perspective of customers doesn't go down. So you're still looking at consistency in quality, from a perspective of what you offer to the market. But what about how do you capture the feedback part of it? That's the next part of it. So how do you actually do the feedback mechanism across from customers? Because as you rightly said, you've got two sets of customers. So there is going to be an end customer who is probably like a me, who walks in, tastes your tea across the lounge, likes your tea, and kind of takes it back. But then there is a whole lot of segment which is there who purchases from the retail, from the
Right.
distribution network. So how do you capture that feedback that this chai is good, this chai is not good, or this blend is something which completely tastes my palate, or if you could probably change this or reverse this. And you said 40 countries, so that means you've got to be diverse across from taking feedbacks. How do you manage that part?
So normally we do sampling basically in either it is modern trade or maybe in some retail outlets also, right? Bigger retail outlets. We do some sort of sampling. We capture basically feedback from the end customer on that. But to be honest, when it comes to the digital capturing of the feedback, that is not happening right now. So, but the thing is that very recently we have basically implemented LS Central, or you call it LS Retail for our retail business, right? So in that, and we have integrated it with basically Paytm application, which is having feedback mechanism built in, right? So which is with the name of M Loyal, right? So it is a kind of loyalty program. So wherein basically people can earn and burn, and people can give share their feedbacks also, especially when it comes to retail business. So that has started happening, but that has started happening very recently for us.
Interesting. So what you're saying is that as of right now, your dealer distribution network and your retail network is not giving you direct feedback, and you're not collecting that across from the end customer.
Right.
But what you're doing is you're basically going across down to these segments. So so therefore, what's the roadmap for that? How would you look at actually digitizing this portion of it? So, what's the plan for Wagh Bakri that Tarun's envisaged from a perspective customer experience? If he has to paint a picture, I know that you've got the big fours working across with you on that front, and as you clearly said, there is a business process reengineering going on right now. But what's
Right.
the vision? So, if I ask Tarun, the CIO for Wagh Bakri, what would he have as customer experience feedback, given that the quality of the product is there? How would he capture it up and kind of give it back to business? That's my
No,
take across
definitely.
on this
See,
thing.
the thing is that from the retailers and distributor perspective, right? So we have implemented an application, so which is not in any sort of standard application though, but it is basically customized application based on our requirement. So we have got one SFA and DMS application developed. So there also we have initiated some sort of exercise, like we have some certain modules, we call it promoter module, we have implemented in that promoter module. So that is not largely in use, but yes, that is where we intend to use that thing more frequently. Now platform is there. So
Mhm,
in that promoter application, we have got certain promoters based out of different retail outlets, everything. So
mhm,
whenever they do any promotion exercise, whenever they do any sampling exercise, we try to capture some of the feedback through that. So, but that channel is not, to be honest, very structured and streamlined for now. But yes, our vision is there, our intent is there, and that is where we are focusing in right now. And maybe in 5 6 months down the line, we'll have proper infrastructure, and that application usage of that application, we have to just increase the usage, just to cut the story short.
So you're trying to get people to imbibe the practice so that they start giving
Right.
you the mechanism
Yeah.
so that you can
Yeah.
start taking it.
Yeah.
So, well, one question, Tarun. While I understand this thing, you said that legacy is a huge thing for the organization, almost 100 years of legacy from a product perspective. But
Right.
given the market scenario right now, everything is, social media oriented. So, for example, I don't think so anybody watches news nowadays. They all go across on their social media specific apps and do stuff. I don't
Absolutely.
post anything across on Facebook. I'm old, but having said that, you know, information decimation is all through Instas and Twitters and through the other different apps which are there in the market right now. So how are you looking at leveraging them? What's Do you have a strategy for getting that aligned across out here? The means of communication across. So when you look at the picture, I understand that you've said that you've got it in bits and pieces, but social is a completely different animal. So how does the
Right.
social part of feedback dovetail into your digitization strategy, considering that you're talking to a lot of customers?
So currently, actually, as a part of business process reengineering, we want to strengthen our this digital marketing thing, as well as our e-commerce channel, right? So there means our organization focus was not definitely there in the past when it comes to this e-commerce and digitization and this digital marketing from point of view. But now yes, focus is there, and we have already, so as I said, that we have been working with Accenture. So this is one of the project basically on which Accenture is giving their feedback, and means we are going to set up a kind of separate department, sub department within the marketing department, wherein we will have basically people focused especially on the digital marketing front, and they will basically their a budget has also been allocated for the same this year, right? So that is what we have currently to say. But yes, maybe in 6 months or one year down the line, you'll see a lot of presence of Bagh Bakri in the digital space also.
Interesting. That's nice. My next question, Darun, is as a CIO, while I know that you're not directly into business, but you empower business, is there a benchmark that you set across from a perspective, or is there a benchmark in the tea industry that this should be the way, this is the epitome of tea tasting, or this is the epitome of what a product should be? You mentioned that word called CSBT. I'm sorry, CGBT or whatever. I
No,
forgot
it
the
is CTSB.
CTSB. Yeah. So is CTSB a benchmark, or and do you have parameters out there to measure? So for example, I'm a customer, as I said. So how should I react to your tea? Should I react to your tea by saying that it's tasty, it's very whatever, So what are your benchmarks across in the tea industry? How do you
So
measure these across from a customer responses
see,
when you do measure?
the thing is that let me be very upfront actually on this thing, right? So earlier it was all based on sampling, right? So whatever sampling we have done in the past, and the thing is that we have got separate blends for separate regions, right? It is not like that whatever blend you are getting in Gujarat, you will get the same blend, you will get the same taste for the same brand in Delhi NCR region also, right? And there
Oh, is that
the
so? So
reason,
that what?
yeah.
Sorry. So what you're saying is that the tea in Gujarat is different to the tea in Delhi.
Yes, you will get
It's
slightly difference in flavor of the teas, right? So it depends
ah
on the basically customer preferences also only, right? So the thing is that like for Gujarat, people have got different preferences. Some means and in the people in Delhi NCR they have got different preferences. So that is where keeping those preferences in mind, we have already basically make some sort of changes in our blends, and means that is the reason we have got regional specific blends also, though number of SKUs have increased because of that, but yes, it was a basically requirement for that specific region, and that is where we have to go as per the customer choice.
oh, no wonder. So what you're saying is the same Wagh Bakri masala chai, the red packet that I buy across from your lounge,
Yeah,
is tasting different in Gujarat, although with the same product brand name, because
yeah,
it's a
yes.
Gujarati blend
So,
and this one is a
yes,
Delhi blend.
there'll be slight change, there'll be slight change in the blend,
Interesting,
not to a greater
interesting,
extent, but
interesting.
yes, there'll be a slight
But do you
change.
have a benchmark for this? That is chai ka feedback and the reaction across from the market is X, and the benchmark for X actually is X into 2. And the benchmark that is there that we're getting across from feedback is lower than that. Do you have benchmarks across on this? Do you
Absolutely.
have like a
So each and every like basically, as I said, that we when we taste any tea, right? So the thing is that tea procurement, tea blending is a very special exercise. So people believe that it is a very it's a normal process wherein basically you just process a tea from and purchase a tea from a garden and just pack it. It is not like that,
Hmm.
right? So the thing is that from tea procurement till tea blending, there's a very specialized process which we follow, and that is where we have uniqueness for Bagh Bakri as a brand, right? We have tried to maintain, and we are able to maintain that thing also, right? So when we procure any tea, so during procurement, during sampling, we categorize a tea, and whatever teas we are procuring, right? So we categorize it, and then we have basically certain formula which we set it based on the categorization we have done, and then we say that this tea is suitable for which blend, right? So then we only take that tea in that proportion in that specific blend. So for blending also, we have got specialized people, actually those who have been doing this task for last so many years, right?
Hmm.
So and then once from sampling and tasting, and then basically when the final product is to be released, then again
Hmm.
once level of tasting is being done on the entire lot of
Hmm.
that tea. So in case we find any differences there also, we reject that, and then we may reblend it maybe with some adding some more component of basically like bitterness is missing or taste is missing or smell is missing, whatever it is. So we do reblend once again. So from the quality parameter perspective and to maintain the customer experience perspective, we don't compromise on that. So
Interesting.
the thing is that that is where basically I said that means we have got so got that kind of stickiness. Though in case you taste it once, right? So you will
Mm-hmm.
not find too much of variation in the taste.
Mm-hmm.
So despite of the factors like weather is having a big influencer in the quality of tea we receive, right? So
Mm-hmm.
depending on the
Mm-hmm.
weather, but the thing is that that is the specialty we carry, that whatever you do, right? So and we are very basically like we keep very high inventories also at times. It is not means from a business perspective, in case you are keeping high inventories, nobody will appreciate that, but we do
Mm-hmm.
it. Reason being because we want to maintain the quality, and that is where in case we get some good tea which is from a good garden, we procure that tea in a good numbers, and we store it, and then we use that in throughout all the blends, maybe throughout the year or maybe for 6 months or 5 months, whatever it is. So that is where
Wow.
basically we have people believe that that it is a very very normal process. You are just purchasing and packing a tea. It is not like
Huh.
that. There's a lot of basically sampling, tasting, kind of and categorization which happens, which is unique for Bagh Bakri, and that is where we are able to maintain it.
Wow, how cool is that? Tarun, coming back to the technology part of it, what is Tarun when you, as a believer? So, are you like a firm believer on the tech taking business forward, or are you a firm believer of maintaining legacy from a perspective of the business? So, if you
No,
would look
actually,
at your
see, I
business,
am not a firm believer of maintaining legacy, to be honest. So
Mhm,
I am a firm believer of bringing change within the organization, and that is the reason I am here, right? And that
mhm,
was the main reason I was being appointed in this organization, to bring a change within the organization, to bring the cultural change. Because see, the thing is that because this organization is working mostly on legacy, the ERP we are
mhm,
using, that is 20 plus years old. So and we are able to maintain that basically ERP. But now because the technology has changed, time has changed, requirement has changed, and that is where basically we also want to change, and that is where I am trying to blend technology wherever possible, and we are also trying to bring efficiencies within the processes. Also, currently the processes that everyone is happy to sign the documents. So so that is where we have to bring a kind of cultural change. So right
mhm.
after this session, I have to go for a next session, so which is about new way of working for the organization, right? So where we want to bring change within the organization, we want the management, we want the HODs, and we want people down the line to change their way of working. I have come as a change agent for the organization, to be honest. So
Tarun,
if you would
that's
have
really
interviewed
interesting.
me or you interview me after an year or so, I'll have more stories to share with you, right?
Oh, of course, for sure. I'm sure
It
CIO
is
would want
just
to
a
do that
journey, to
because
be honest. We have started for Bagh Bakri. Yeah.
I know this is absolutely lovely. So Tarun, just one last final one because which is very pertaining. Given the fact that you've come in during the COVID time frame into the organization, how did you sustain the business? How did technology support the business during COVID because everything was shut? But चाय पीना तो मैंने बंद नहीं किया था. So
Yes,
my
sir.
perspective is that how did the entire business got sustained across through technology efforts? Because at the end of the day, the entire working suddenly shifted onto tech. This is normal communication. Otherwise, I'm
Right.
sure that Akash would have wanted to do a full camera setup and have you live out there. I would have loved to put on some powder and talk to you directly. Having said that, it suddenly becomes this norm. So how did it change? How did technology kind of empower it during the time frame
So,
of COVID?
so luckily, to be honest, we were basically to some extent we were ready for that. So I mean, I won't say that in means it was with intention or whatever it is, but we were ready. Reason being because we were having sufficient basically devices to provide users so that they can work from home. and means from the, I should say, we were already on Office 365. So
Mhm.
means everyone was already means having MS Teams or something installed on their desk laptops. So that means during this COVID period also we could have frequent basically connections, and maybe the only thing which we were supposed to enable was everyone was not having this wireless or Wi-Fi connection at their home. So we had to
Mhm.
just provide connectivity to them by providing some sort of dongles to them, and laptops were ready. So that is where we could manage. And
Nice.
luckily, because uh, it was not like that we compromised on the security piece. Also, we were having like SSL box in place, due to which
Mhm.
we were able to provide VPN connectivities to our users. Yes,
Mhm.
IT team had to work hard, but we could
Mhm.
manage well, and that was the reason. Basically, means you would have never felt that Bagh Bakri is running out of stock in any of the retail outlets. It was
I can
always
totally
available.
understand that. And Tarun, my final one to you: you are a cloud guy, or are you a on-prem, solid, good old system guy?
No, no,
What would
actually, to
you
be
go
honest,
across on
I
that?
am a cloud guy. I am a pure cloud guy, right? So the thing is that there are several reasons actually where I want basically to be a cloud guy, and it is not like that means we are not using cloud here. We are using cloud here. So we are using in some of the whatever new applications we are bringing in, right? So either they are SaaS based application, or we are using infrastructure as services, either on Azure or AWS. So wherever possible, I would like uh, actually the availability is most important thing for the organization, right? So whether it when it comes to on premise, right? So a lot of basically technological basically I should say team competencies required. When it comes
Mhm.
to security, a lot of competency is required from the security availability 24 cross 7. We cannot provide access to everyone, right? And that is where
Mhm.
means I believe that cloud plays a very major role. In case you are on cloud, you can provide 24 cross 7 availability. You don't have any dependencies on your local infrastructure, right? So and when it comes to scalability also, so there also means you can scale your servers. So in case your requirements are increasing, in case you are running out of your basically I should say CPU memory or something, so you can simply scale your servers. And when it comes to new means doing, because in case of this digitization edge, right? So you have to try multiple applications. It cannot happen that in case you want to do some POC of any application, you have to just purchase some servers, or you have to keep some servers in place, you have to take some licenses or something, and then try it, right? So in cloud everything is available. So just and it basically, I believe the process gets basically you can expedite the whole process of POCs and everything. Otherwise, means I believe if you're talking about 5 years or 10 years down the line, when cloud was not that popular, right? So in case
Mhm.
you have to do some POC also, right? It used to take a lot of efforts
Correct.
from everyone's, right?
I remember that for
So,
sure. I remember that for
so
sure.
I'm a cloud guy in nutshell.
Amazing. Hey, Tarun, thank you very much for this. Seriously, thanks. Amazing talking to you. I just got some insight into the tea business. Otherwise, for us, it just meant across and, buying a tea which was advertised nicely. But having said that, this completely gives a different paradigm. Thank you again for your time. And
Thank you.
really hope that, what you're envisioning for Wagh Bakri comes true to light in the next 5 to 6 months and we start seeing action across out there. Having said
Right.
that, thanks again. And if next time when I'm there, I'm going to ping you a picture of mine at the Wagh Bakri Lounge having a masala tea. But I'll try and both the flavors now, the Gujarat one as well as the Delhi one, and I'll tell you the
Okay.
difference on that. Thanks
Great.
again for
Thank you
this.
very much for the opportunity. And I believe, means 6 months or 1 year down the line, I have more stories to share. So happy to share my stories once again whenever is the right time for that. Right.
For sure, sir, for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tarun, for sharing your journey and views with us. And thank you so much, Adarsh, for driving the session. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine.